listeners. This is Scott McRae and Andy Daniels. We are here with Rick Durfee. We are spread out across the nation, but we wanted to hop on a quick video here and let you guys in on a really great resource. As you've been saving up for retirement, we encounter lots of people who get into lots of different kinds of things. And some of the expertise on this video is how do you make the most of those things, and what's your exit strategy where you can receive the most amount of money or income for the asset you have and maybe not have to pay all of it to Uncle Sam. Scott and I work with clients every day of all different ages to make sure that their financial plans are safe, secure, and sound for as much as we can make it. And over the years, we have identified Rick as an attorney based out of Arizona, and he's become a wealth of knowledge and a valuable resource to our clients where kind of our knowledge ends and his begins with some of the more technical pieces of estate planning. And so today, Rick is going to introduce a concept that you might be very interested in. And I'm going to let him take over because we have used this concept with clients in the past, and I know Rick's got some success. And it's going to show you some really cool tools that you can use to escape some of the higher taxes that you might find yourself in, depending on your situation. Rick, tell us all about these CRUTs.
Okay, so I'm going to throw up some slides here. It's great to be with you. My law firm, we have 8 or 9 attorneys, depending on the day. We represent clients all over the U.S. No cases too small or too big, from very simple, small estates to the uber, ultra high net worth clients. And today we're specifically going to look through a charitable remainder trust plan and how that works. So when we buy an asset, we pay something for that. That's our cost basis. And especially in an inflationary market, the price tends to go up. And that gain, the difference between the cost of an asset, the cost basis, and its ultimate fair market value is capital gain. And that's taxable. And that tax can be deferred. It gets some special rates. And the taxable event is typically when the property is disposed of, and that is within your control. And I will also add that paying that tax is voluntary. So do you want to pay capital gains tax on your highly appreciated asset, whether it's the sale of the family farm or the family business? And I want to also we have to throw in here that this planning is not suitable for everyone, but for those that it is suitable for, it's really cool. And part of the screening process is we have to ask, is this suitable for you? So if you were going to pour money into a black box, and out of the black box, you got no capital gains tax on the sale of a highly appreciated asset, you got big tax deductions, you had tax advantaged income for the rest of your life, you had tax-free monies to your heir, and you were able to fund your charitable intent. Do you care what's in the black box? And I ask that question because bizarrely, people will tell me, I want all 5 of those things on the list right there. I want those. But yeah, I do care what's in the black box, because even if I get those things, some people won't take what's in the black box. But here it is. Here's the black box. You're going to give something to charity, and you're going to buy life insurance. Now, I'm the lawyer. You can't buy life insurance from me. I'm not a charity. You can't give money to me and have it be tax deductible. But we work with charities and with people who do provide life insurance products like Andy and Scott, and we're excited to work with them. You know, let me just throw a pitch in here. We work with financial advisors all over the country, and having confidence in people who will give their clients good advice and put their needs ahead of their own interests is rare and special. And we've enjoyed working with Andy and Scott for that reason. But we want to look at, so what does this mean? What is a split interest gift? How do we get this avoidance of capital gains tax? And with any asset, you can divide it up in lots of different ways. And we're going to divide this asset up into 2 pieces, the income piece and the residue. And you're going to keep one and you're going to give the other one away. So typically the part you keep is the income piece. That's yours. And you get that for life. Normally, it can be a term of years, but it's usually for life. And then the residue, well, what the heck is going to go to charity? Well, that's whatever's left over when you die. And when you do this structure, by the way, you get some of those benefits we talked about, tax deduction and avoidance of capital gain. And by the way, if you're going to give something to charity, it might as well be your charity. So there are a variety of ways that you can create your own foundation. One of them that is very powerful and has become very popular is what's called a donor advised fund, and that's a whole nother discussion. So this split interest gift can be structured as an annuity, a charitable gift annuity in this case, or as a trust, a charitable remainder trust. And there's some differences in those. The annuity, I'll just say, is fire and forget. All you have to do is go out to the mailbox and collect the money. The trust structure is more hands-on management. You're actually going to have assets in the marketplace, and you would want smart and qualified people like Andy and Scott to help you manage that. But the upside is you get the market upside. The downside is you get the market downside. So which one is better depends a lot of things, your age and other things. But then you're going to take part of that money. You're getting more money than you would have otherwise received because of the tax benefits, avoiding the capital gain and the tax deductions. And you're going to do a private contractual alternative to some of the traditional retirement plan things that are going on out there. And you're specifically going to replace that asset that's going to charity. And the way you do that is through that life insurance that we talked about. I want to just quickly throw up here, when you do form your own foundation, you get to make contributions that are tax deductible. It can last for a long time as a charitable endowment. You get to use your money managers like Scott and Andy to run the money, and then you get to make grants to charities of your choice. And the cost is pretty low, pretty minimal. So it costs less and you get better deductions for that. And we can talk about why you'd use legacy. That's another discussion. There are lots of people that opt for those. But I want to look specifically at the tax things with this charitable remainder trust. So we're going to make some assumptions. 5% net income, 0 basis, 20% federal rate, 6% state rate, and the 3.8%, quote unquote, we need to put that in quotes because they call it the affordable tax, which is kind of silly. But if you look at what happens with no CRT, no charitable, you're going to sell this $1 million asset, you're going to pay $298,000 in taxes, you net $700 and change. At your 5% rate of return, you get $35,000 a year of income. Over 20 years, your income looks like $700,000. You spend your $702,000, and assuming this is included in your taxable estate, which is a big assumption depending on what else you've got going on, you would have a marginal estate tax of $270,000. Net to your heirs is that $331,000. With the CRT, same $1 million. How much is your tax when you sell it? It's 0. You also get a tax deduction for $300,000. So you got the entire $1 million working for you, and the income now, instead of $35,000 a year, is $50,000 a year. Plus, because of the deduction, your tax on that income is lower than it would have otherwise been. So you take part of the extra income. You have $15,000 extra that you wouldn't have otherwise had. You take part of that extra and you commit that to pay premiums. What are the premiums for? To replace the asset that's going to charity when you die so that your heirs are not left out in the cold. So after over 20 years, your net income is $800,000. You've spent $800,000. Your estate tax on the $1 million in the CRT is 0. How much do your heirs get? $1 million. How much goes to charity? $1 million. Now, this is a little bit oversimplified to kind of show the concept. And as we say here in writing, the outcome varies based on lots of factors like how old you are and whether or not you're healthy and what the market does to you and how much of your stuff you actually spend. This kind of planning, we typically, when we're going to look at this for somebody, we're going to go get some illustrations. Do you want a 5% payout or an 8% payout? That affects your tax deduction. It affects how long the trust will last. It affects how much is ultimately left for your beneficiaries. And surprisingly, contrary to what a lot of people think, and it's almost counterintuitive, taking a lower amount of income can result in some instances in a higher lifetime benefit. And part of the reason for that is the less you spend today and the more you invest in the future, the bigger your income is in the future. If you're a saver, as Andy called everybody in the beginning of this, and you are actually saving part of your income, you're spending less than you earn so that your future income will be bigger. Well, the similar thing principle operates with a charitable remainder trust. And again, the outcome varies based upon the people.
Now, and Rick, I just want to add, like, these numbers, yeah, this is kind of a projection, but in our experience, we can get these kinds of numbers pretty regularly with a lot of different cases. And so I just want to back up, like, your projections match with our experience. And this is a really cool deal to save someone not just taxes on the front end, but taxes on the back end, and still increase their income by 40-some%.
Right. So the dual benefit of, wait, I don't have a tax. There is no tax on the gain. So no tax plus a deduction. So when I invest that no tax proceeds of sale and I'm getting an income from it, my tax on that income is reduced because I have a deduction. It's a cool compounding of charitable benefits. Now, again, the downside is, let's be candid, charity's going to get something. And when do they get it? To be blunt, when you're dead. During your lifetime, the asset is still there for you. You get to still have the benefit of it and draw that income and enjoy that income for the rest of your life. And by the way, if you don't have children, let me back up again here. This is an option for people who don't have kids and they're thinking, well, I'm going to give something to charity anyway. When do you want that tax deduction to happen? After you're dead or while you're alive? Just saying, it seems to me that tax deductions are better, more useful while you're alive than after you're dead. So this charitable remainder trust or split interest gift option for people in that particular situation allows you to enjoy the tax benefit of your ultimate charitable gift while you're living, instead of waiting for all the tax benefits to occur after your death. Now, this is typically done in conjunction with some planning, and this is not a talk about dynasty trust. I'm going to throw some stuff up here and we're going to move on real quick. I will just mention that the difference between a dynasty trust and a typical trust is that most trusts focus on what happens when somebody dies. And so they have a very limited purpose and a limited lifespan. A dynasty trust is focused on, well, what happens for after that? What happens for the next 100 years or 150 years or 500 years? And if we're planning long-term and we're building growth, income and wealth to grow for a long, long time, we want to think about what happens. And this kind of planning occurs in the context of other things: the dynasty trust, the family office, the family bank, and the family foundation. And each of those have a particular function, and we're not going to go through that now. I'm going to stop this screen share. I've been talking fast because that's what lawyers do. I will just tell you a funny story. My father-in-law was a lawyer, and he was from Texas. And at about way slower than this, he says, Rick, I'm from Texas, so I talk slow. I'm a lawyer, so I talk a lot. And I could say in about 30 seconds what would take him 10 minutes. So I'm sorry I talked fast. It's fun stuff here. We love doing this. We, again, help clients all over the United States, and actually quite a few that are not in the United States do this kind of planning. And we're excited to work with Andy and Scott to explore some of these opportunities for their clients. Take it away, guys.
100%, Rick. Yeah, that was amazing.
Yeah, I was going to say, Andy and Rick, I really appreciate what you do, because you do the same thing we do. We verify everything we do. We weigh it, we measure it, complete transparency. Any questions? I know we did it really fast today, and I'm talking fast for an Arkansas boy. But questions you have, write them down, come to us. We'll get this taken care of in a longer version. But Rick did a great job, I think.
Absolutely. So on the screen, you're going to see some ways that you can reach out to Rick and the Durfee Law Group. I would suggest that you guys, the way I was introduced to some of these concepts, I was just looking at or searching around online, and Rick has an amazing library where he goes through in detail all of the concepts that we kind of glossed over today. Some of the donor advised funds, some of the estate planning and the integrated planning, the asset preservation. You guys can go on his YouTube channel. It's at Durfee Law. Look on the screen here and just go through that and educate yourself on ways that you can save money on taxes, plan for the future. If you want to reach out to us or you want some more in-depth contextual information about this style of planning, like I said, go to Rick's website, durfeelawgroup.com, or you can go to his YouTube channel at Durfee Law. We have a website, Sure Wealth Solutions, where you can download a copy of our 70-page book. We review some of these concepts and start picking apart the pieces that might fit in your style. And as always, it sometimes helps to chat with us. We're no sales hype, no opinion. If you've got questions, we'll hop on a call and try to answer them for you, get you more resources. But stay true to it. You've done a great job saving, and we know that with some more information, you can ask better questions. And when you ask better questions, you're going to get better answers. So feel free to reach out any of the ways on the screen here, and we'll see you on the other side.